Archaeologists thought they knew what to expect when opening up ancient cemeteries, but what they've discovered is absolutely mind-blowing. We're not talking about typical treasures and pottery. These discoveries are so shocking, they're rewriting history books, from technology that shouldn't have existed for thousands of years to evidence of civilizations more advanced than we ever imagined. We'll show you the discoveries that prove our ancestors kept some pretty wild secrets.
Number 10. The Vanishing Topper Disk with Star Maps. Back in the 1970s, something incredible happened during an Egyptian excavation that most people never heard about. A copper disc surfaced from an ancient burial site, covered in symbols that didn't match any known writing system on Earth. The object made its way to Cairo Museum storage, but within a month, it mysteriously disappeared. Here's where it gets wild. Photographs survived, and they show something that looks like a star map, but not of our sky. The disk appeared to chart constellations that don't exist in our current view of space. Former museum assistants whispered about this discovery for years, but official records? Gone. What makes this even stranger is how objects made from unidentifiable alloys kept turning up in 5th Dynasty burials. These weren't bronze, gold, or silver. They were something else entirely. One archaeologist who kept copies of reports claimed the materials couldn't be analyzed with any known methods. Today, most researchers can't even access the Cairo Museum's restricted storage areas without special government permission. The question remains, are these objects hidden because they're too advanced for their time, or because they might force us to rewrite everything we know about ancient civilizations?
Number 9. The Medieval Giant from Poland's Secret Past. Deep in a Polish archaeological site, researchers uncovered the remains of a medieval man whose extraordinary height of just 115 centimeters tells a fascinating story about ancient medical understanding. This wasn't just any burial. Radiocarbon dating placed him between the 9th and 11th centuries, making him a contemporary of early medieval kingdoms. What shocked scientists wasn't his condition, but how well he was cared for during his lifetime. Examination of his bones revealed multiple healed fractures and injuries, all professionally treated by someone with serious medical skills. The skeletal analysis showed he lived 30 to 45 years, which was remarkable for someone with his condition in that era. His burial was elaborate, suggesting high social status despite physical differences. The discovery changed how archaeologists view medieval society's treatment of people with disabilities. This find represents one of the oldest documented cases of achondroplasia in European archaeology, predating many similar discoveries by centuries. The burial goods included personal items that indicated he held important social or religious positions. What's really mind-blowing is how this discovery connects to over 300 different genetic causes of dwarfism known today, showing that ancient societies had more medical knowledge than previously thought. The tomb's construction and location suggest this individual was respected and valued by his community.
I have a question for you. First, I would like to say that it is possible to follow the greatest curiosities of our world every day. But to do so, you need to be subscribed to our channel. So, are you already subscribed? If not, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Also, take the opportunity to like the video, so YouTube will recommend more videos from our channel. So leave your like right now. And now that you have done that, let's go!
Number 8. Theopetra Caves 130,000-year time capsule. Deep in the heart of Greece, at the foot of the famous Meteora rock formations, lies Theopetra Cave, an archaeological site that rewrites the timeline of human habitation in Europe. This massive underground space, stretching approximately 500 square kilometers with a naturally illuminated entrance, served as home for various human populations for an incredible 130,000 years.
The cave formed between 137 and 65 million years ago, providing perfect shelter conditions that attracted prehistoric peoples generation after generation. Dr. Nina Kiparasi Apostoliki led the systematic exploration beginning in 1987, uncovering 20 years' worth of archaeological treasures that revealed continuous human occupation spanning multiple prehistoric periods. What makes Theopetra unique among European archaeological sites is its clear chronological layers showing unbroken human presence from the Middle Paleolithic through the Neolithic periods. This scientific window into the past demonstrates how early humans adapted to changing climates and developed increasingly sophisticated tools and survival strategies. Initially used by local shepherds for their flocks, the cave became a crucial research site for understanding human evolution in southeastern Europe. The archaeological deposits contain stone tools, pottery fragments, animal bones, and evidence of controlled fire use dating back tens of thousands of years. Each excavation layer tells part of humanity's survival story, showing how our ancestors weathered ice ages, climate changes, and technological revolutions while maintaining continuous habitation of this protected space for over 1,000 centuries.
Number 7. Otzi the Iceman's Last Meal Secrets. Picture this. A guy gets murdered in the Alps 5,300 years ago, and thanks to ice preservation, we can literally see what he had for lunch. Otzi the Iceman wasn't just randomly found on that Austrian-Italian border in 1991. This dude was carrying a full survival kit that puts modern hikers to shame. His stomach contents revealed he ate ibex meat, red deer, einkorn wheat, and some kind of fat. Basically a Bronze Age power meal. But here's where it gets crazy. Scientists found hop hornbeam pollen in his digestive system, which only blooms in spring. That means they can pinpoint not just when he died, but exactly what season. His gear included a copper axe that was so advanced for its time that researchers initially thought it was a fake. The guy had 61 tattoos placed precisely over acupuncture points, suggesting ancient medical knowledge we're still trying to understand. His leather pouch contained flint, tinder, and mushrooms with antibiotic properties, natural pharmacy stuff. Analysis of his nails showed he'd been sick 3 times in the 6 months before death. The arrow that killed him hit him in the shoulder, and he bled to death within hours. CT scans revealed brain trauma too, so maybe someone finished the job. DNA analysis shows his descendants still live in the region today. This frozen time capsule.
Number 6. Book of the Dead fragments hidden for decades. For over 150 years, genuine fragments of the ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead remained locked away from public view, passing through the hands of obsessive collectors and secretive institutions. Sir Thomas Phillips, a 19th-century British collector, acquired 19 precious fragments as part of his mission to own every book on the planet. His collection included 60,000 manuscripts and 50,000 books, but these particular pieces were special. After his death, the fragments bounced between private auctions until they landed with Hans P. Krauss, a prominent New York book dealer who understood their true value. In 1983, the Getty Museum in Los Angeles received these artifacts as donations, then promptly hid them from the world for decades. Only recently did museum officials decide to display 7 fragments to the public. These aren't ordinary books. They're collections of 200 prayers and spells designed to guide souls through the afterlife journey. The exhibited pieces belong to temple priestesses named Aset and Anheus, plus strips of linen containing mummification spells. The most captivating fragment shows the judgment hall scene, where scales determine whether a soul's heart is light enough for heaven or heavy enough for eternal punishment. Only Egypt's wealthy elite could afford personalized books of the dead with custom spells tailored to their specific needs and social status.
Number 5. Napoleon's battle plate found in Moscow streets. During routine archaeological research on Stray Monastery Lane in Moscow, experts uncovered fragments of an ornate French porcelain plate that tells the story of one of history's most famous military campaigns. This late 19th to early 20th century piece belongs to the Sarah Guines collection series, manufactured in France between 1868 and 1919. The plate features a blue border design with a central graphic depicting the Battle of the Pyramids, complete with silhouettes of pyramids and palm trees in the background. Horse and foot soldiers dominate the foreground, commemorating the July 21, 1798 clash between French and Turkish-Egyptian armies. Before this battle, Napoleon famously declared to his troops that 40 centuries are looking at us from the height of these pyramids. This victory marked the end of 700 years of Mamluk rule in Egypt and established French dominance in the region. The Sarah Guines factory, opened in 1790, became famous for producing Napoleon's favorite porcelain and later supplied tiles for the first Paris metro stations. The factory revolutionized tableware production in 1828 by introducing printed engraving decoration, then expanded into various decorative subjects. Finding this historically significant piece in Moscow's streets connects Russian and French archaeological heritage in unexpected ways. The restored plate will join the Russian Federation's museum collections, preserving this tangible link to Napoleonic history.
Number 4. 3 missing relics from the Great Pyramid. When engineer Wayneman Dixon crawled into a narrow shaft inside the Great Pyramid in 1872, he discovered 3 objects that would become archaeology's most puzzling mystery. From a ventilation shaft barely inches wide, he pulled out a stone ball, a copper hook, and a piece of cedar wood. These items, known as the Dixon relics, immediately sparked controversy because nobody could explain their purpose or placement. The stone ball was perfectly smooth, as if machine polished. The copper hook had an unusual design that resembled a specialized tool rather than a ceremonial object. But the cedar wood fragment became the most mystical part of this puzzle. After being transferred to Edinburgh for study, it simply vanished from museum records for over a century. In 2020, researchers accidentally rediscovered part of the wood in a forgotten storage box. Carbon dating revealed the fragment was over 5,000 years old, potentially predating the pyramid itself by centuries. This raises incredible questions about the pyramid's true age and original purpose. Why were these primitive-looking objects hidden in such an inaccessible location? Who placed them there? And why has mainstream archaeology avoided deeper investigation? The shaft's smooth walls suggest it was specially prepared for these items, almost like a time capsule meant to preserve something important for future discovery.
Number 3. The Nebra Sky Disk's impossible manufacturing process. The 3,600-year-old Nebra Sky Disk stands as one of archaeology's most confusing artifacts, and recent research has made it even more mysterious. This bronze disk, decorated with gold symbols representing the sun, moon, and stars, was created using a 10-stage hot forging process that modern metallurgists struggle to replicate. German scientists discovered that each manufacturing stage required heating the metal to exactly 700 degrees Celsius, followed by precise stress-relieving treatments. When researchers tried to reproduce the ancient techniques using modern equipment, they failed miserably. The original methods were actually superior to contemporary metalworking processes. X-ray spectroscopy and microstructural analysis revealed manufacturing secrets that shouldn't exist in Bronze Age technology. The disk's creators understood metallurgy at a level that rivals today's industrial processes. What's even stranger is how the gold was applied. It was hammered onto the bronze while both metals were at specific temperatures, creating a bond that has lasted millennia. The astronomical knowledge displayed on the disk is equally impressive, showing accurate representations of celestial events visible from Central Europe. UNESCO recognized its importance by adding it to the Memory of the World Register in 2013. The disc proves that Bronze Age civilizations possessed advanced scientific knowledge that historians are still trying to understand and explain. Number 2. Ancient Egypt's most vibrant tomb discovery. Egyptian archaeologists made an incredible discovery when they opened a 4,400-year-old tomb that defied everything they knew about ancient preservation techniques. The burial chamber belonged to Kewi, a high-ranking official during the pyramid-building era who held impressive titles, including Pharaoh's only friend, Warden of the Great House, and one of the 10 greatest in Upper Egypt. But the tomb's occupant wasn't what made headlines. It was the paintings that accompanied him on his final journey. The walls exploded with colors so vibrant they looked freshly applied, featuring sailing ships, peasants working fertile fields, and intricate geometric designs that seemed to pulse with life. How ancient Egyptian artists managed to preserve these brilliant hues for nearly 5,000 years remains a complete mystery to modern scientists. The pigments show no signs of fading, cracking, or deterioration despite millennia of burial. Chemical analysis of the paints revealed techniques that contemporary artists struggled to replicate. The tomb's location near other important burials suggests Kewi held significant political and religious power during his lifetime. Each painted scene tells part of a larger story about daily life in ancient Egypt, showing activities from farming to religious ceremonies. The preservation quality is so exceptional that archaeologists can identify specific plant species, clothing styles, and even facial expressions on the painted figures. This discovery forces scientists to reconsider everything they thought they knew about ancient preservation methods and artistic techniques.
Number 1. The Copper Scroll Treasure Map from Qumran. Among the Dead Sea Scrolls discovered near Qumran, one document stands out because it's not written on animal skin or papyrus. It's hammered into pure copper sheets. The Copper Scroll reads like an ancient treasure map, listing 64 locations where enormous quantities of gold and silver were supposedly hidden throughout ancient Palestine. Written around 50 to 100 CE, it describes hiding places for over 200 tons of precious metals and religious artifacts. But here's where it gets weird. The scroll is written in a form of Hebrew that's different from other Dead Sea Scrolls, almost like it was created by a different group entirely. The locations mentioned include specific landmarks, distances measured in cubits, and detailed directions like, in the cistern opposite the eastern gate, at a distance of 19 cubits, it has black stones. Modern archaeologists have tried following these directions, but most landmarks no longer exist after 2,000 years of geological and human changes. Some researchers think the treasure represents the Temple of Jerusalem's wealth, hidden before Roman destruction in 70 CE. Others believe it's a fantasy document or coded religious text rather than an actual treasure map. The scroll was so corroded when discovered that cutting it open damaged much of the text, and some sections remain unreadable. What makes this find particularly intriguing is that, unlike other Dead Sea Scrolls that deal with religious matters, this one is purely practical, a list of valuable items and where to find them. Recent archaeological surveys using ground-penetrating radar have identified potential sites matching some descriptions, but Israeli authorities restrict excavation in most areas for political and religious reasons.
Still curious? Then don't stop now. The next mystery is already waiting for you. Just click the video on screen. I saved it just for you. See you there, curious one.